Hey, Mount All family. Hope everybody's had a great week this week. It's finally Friday. We made it. The weekend's here. Good Friday morning to you. Hope you've had a blessed week. Everybody's staying healthy. I found myself struggling a little bit with this devotion this week because Pastor TJ pretty much covered it all Sunday. Wasn't that an awesome message that the Lord blessed him with? I really appreciate that message. That was good stuff. But if we go into Luke chapter 15, we kind of break down this, the steps that I see that the younger brother went through. If you look at verses 12 and 13, it says, "And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living." So we see here the younger son who probably had a little bit of resentment, being the younger child, knowing that he was not going to get as much as his older brother did. Reminds me a little bit of my little brother, a few conversations we've had in years past, and a little bit of jealousy there that he probably used to have for me being the firstborn son. But the younger son wanted to get what he felt was owed him now and wanted to start life on his own. It really sounds familiar to me, being raised in the church, knowing who God is, and then stepping away from him and everything that he had to offer me, and thinking that I could do this life on my own with what the world provided, thinking I was man enough to do it all by myself, but I wasn't ready yet. Still not ready. That's what he's for, to help us through this. So skip down to verse 14. It says, "And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed swine." So for a Jew to have to get to the point of feeding a pig is pretty low and pretty humiliating for them. So see here, the younger son had just done away with his inheritance. He had just riotous living, whatever that entailed for him. But life hit him in the mouth. He did away with everything he had and realized, now I'm in trouble. So where does he go? Instead of turning back to his father there, he turns to others, just like many of us do, or turn to what was offered to him from the world. And a lot of times we see this, and I saw this, we think that someone or something of this world is going to fix our problems. We try and try, full of pride, to do this on our own and not humble ourselves and return back to the one that will and has provided everything that we need. So if you go down to verse 17 and 18, it says, "And when he came to himself, he said, How many hired servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him." So I know many people that I've encountered in life, and myself, it takes us hitting rock bottom to get to that point, to wake up and realize I've known all along where my hope and help comes from, and here this whole time I've been acting like a fool, thinking I can do this all by myself. See the younger son here, I think it's a pretty good sign of his courage and tenacity to stand up and man enough to realize I can't do it by myself. So I think we owe it to him for realizing it before it did get too late, or he went too far. He realized what he had done and what he had become and went to his father humbly, asking for forgiveness. But he didn't have to. He didn't even make it to that point of having to ask for forgiveness. His father saw him from afar off and came to him just like God does with us. We've already been forgiven. It's been taken care of. He just asks that you come to him, to turn to him, and not this world. So I see the father here with just a huge smile on his face, seeing his son returning. He finally, you see the love of father here, that he never gave up on him. He knew he would come back, and it just so happy that he finally did. He knew what this world would have to offer his son, turmoil and strife, but as a good father, he allowed his son to learn for himself and make his own choices. But he loved him through it all. He never stopped, just like God does with us, never stops loving us. But that's kind of the whole concept of the free will that God gives us to serve him. He will always be there waiting with arms wide open for us to come back to him, to think he still loves us through all the sin and mistakes we make, and is patiently waiting on our return. And Luke 15:7 tells us, Jesus says that, I say unto you that likewise joy shall be in heaven over one sinner that repenteth, more than over 99 just persons which need no repentance. So just think about that. All of heaven rejoices over the one who chooses to come back to God and ask forgiveness. What a thought. God, Jesus, all the saints, all the angels rejoice over the one. It's just unfathomable, that amount of love from all over. So I'll leave you with one question today for anybody that's out there that hasn't came to the Father yet. Will you be the one who makes heaven rejoice today? I hope you are. And I hope you find some blessings in this today. And I'll see you guys Sunday. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Hey man,